Hello everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for visiting with me today. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel, The Cutting Board. Excuse me. We do all kinds of things here. We do true crime, vlogs, Disney content, got a lot of that coming up. DIY, SFX, makeup, food and cooking content, all kinds of stuff. I have a lot of interest. So in this video, we are going to discuss Lifetime's new upcoming movie, Mormon Mom Gone Wrong, the Ruby Franke story. For those who don't know, Ruby Franke, and I'm going to really condense this, is a former YouTube vlogger who had a channel called 8 Passengers, showing the lives of her family of 6 children and her husband, and had what a lot of people saw as not the greatest parenting style. So not long after she started her channel, maybe a couple years after she started the 8 Passengers channel, she got involved with a counselor by the name of Jody Hildebrandt, and is said to be her business partner. Last year, at the end of August, Jody and Ruby were arrested for multiple charges of CA. And after Ruby's youngest son escaped Jody's house and went to a neighboring home to ask for help, that child was rescued by EMTs and police and was pretty close to the end of his life, according to some reports. But right here, I am going to play a portion of the 911 call.
911, the address of your emergency. Okay, and the phone number you're calling from. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Okay. Is your door locked?
No, I'm sitting outside with him on the front patio.
Okay, cool.
And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid.
The police went to Jody's house where they arrested her, and they searched her home and found Ruby's youngest daughter in a big closet-like room. It looks like a big closet to me, or storage room. And it took EMTs and police hours to talk the shell-shocked child into leaving with them, to convince them they were there to help her. The children were severely malnourished, and they had scrapes and scratches and were super skinny, and the boy had ligature marks on him, on his body when he went to the man's house to be rescued, to ask him to call 911. He had duct tape around his wrists and ankles. One of his ligature marks, or ligature injuries, was so large and so deep that it went almost down to the bone. I would share the pictures here, but they are just too upsetting to share here on YouTube. According to Ruby's journal, she has held her son's head under the water. She has restricted his breathing by covering his mouth and nose at the same time. She has kicked her children, at least the 2 youngest that we know of, with boots on. Her youngest daughter has thrown herself into cacti. She brutalized those children and terrorized them even. So Lifetime was once, a very, very long time ago, like when the network first started in like 1984, had a reputation of being a channel for women with original programming designed to help women, targeted to the female audience. And it very quickly found being informative and providing educational programming, along with, movies and drama, that was not profitable enough. That wasn't making them enough money, I guess. And it has been harming victims for decades now. It has become a platform of exploitation, no longer delving into important issues that affect women and families in a way that, helps. They used to be kind of helpful. But hopefully encouraging women to get or ask for help, build women up, encourage them, encourage betterment, and, making their dreams come true. Now it's about exploiting victims of heinous crimes, basically. That's what it's about. Now, Lifetime takes mainstream news stories these days and the victims of the perpetrators involved and turns them into caricatures for the purpose of entertainment. Banking on an uninformed audience, that is their audience, uninformed, and actually being woefully successful in reaching out to that uninformed audience. Their favorite audience member is an uninformed audience member, selling real life trauma into profitable drama. Lifetime has zero empathy for the victims, and it shows. They re-victimize those affected by these stories and to no benefit to the victims whatsoever. And the stories often being incorrectly and or inaccurately told, showing an even deeper disrespect for the victims. Lifetime is ruthless and unethical. They used the Gypsy Rose story as, an easy hook, putting basically a murderous sociopath in the spotlight. But now they have this new movie coming out very soon, Mormon Mom Gone Wrong, the Ruby Franke story, which, is a movie not only not endorsed by the family and the victims involved, but has been completely trashed by Sherry Franke, Ruby Franke's oldest child. Sherry has slammed the movie several times. While Lifetime may view it as just another movie, no different than The Wrong Babysitter or The Wrong Soccer Coach. It involves real victims, real human victims, children that have been seriously harmed by the viciousness of Ruby Franke. That's right, her viciousness. And her little buddy, Jody Hildebrandt. Sherry said the family was not contacted and none of the proceeds from this movie project are going to the Franke children. So Sherry states that, quoting her, "This movie is trash and only hurts my siblings more. Please do not support this movie." And me, I'm not going to. Perhaps networks like Lifetime don't realize the impact a movie like this has on survivors, or they just don't care. They just don't care. They cannot give a complete and honest look at what happened and what had been happening in that home for years, and should not be using this family's awful experience, this trauma, as what will unfortunately be entertainment for the average viewer and the uninformed viewer. So, what we saw happen with The Act, although a much different story, and I know on a different network, but still shows the irresponsibility of these networks and these streaming services. We will see happen with this movie. We're going to see the same thing happen this movie, and that will be the spreading of misinformation and untruths. I still to this day see TikToks where people are, making videos about Gypsy Rose's sugar allergy, which was featured in The Act. But the sugar allergy, it was never a thing. It wasn't one of Dee Dee's made-up illnesses that she had for Gypsy, and it just wasn't a thing. It was just for the show. But to the uninformed, it was a big deal, and they just took that information, ran to TikTok with it, because the show is based on a true story. So taken based on a true story, they take that as truth. And those people took that sugar allergy storyline and they ran with it. And I feel Lifetime will get a lot of stuff wrong and also embellish a lot for the sake of storytelling. Bad storytelling. But storytelling nonetheless. And again, the uninformed audience members, that they're going to take that and, make their little TikToks or whatever and spread this misinformation. And Lifetime is wrong for this. They had no business making this movie. And this is just my opinion. It'll be inadequate to say the least. This movie will be inadequate. And I think it's best, if you want to be informed about this story, go read the legal documents. Go read articles about it. Go read the information on the Utah website where all the legal documents are. Go watch reputable YouTubers about the video. Look at those photos. Read Ruby's journal. You'll learn a lot from that. And wait for Sherry's book to come out in January, and give it a read. Because Sherry is, probably the best person to tell the story at this time. Well, I'm sure we'll hear from the younger kids as they get older, if they feel like talking about it, because they have been traumatized by this. Maybe they'll have a lot to say when they're older. But right now, this isn't the time to tell their story. Leave them be, leave them alone. So what do you think? What's your opinion on this movie? And, just tell me your thoughts. And thanks so much for watching. And I'll talk to all of you later. Bye.